Hi, my name's Kevin Hind, and in this presentation we're going to look at a short question on markets. And indeed what we're going to do is we're going to be able to use a simple expression of a demand curve and calculate the price elasticity demand and the cross price elasticity demand. That means that we need to know that our formulas for the price elasticity demand and also the formula for the cross price elasticity demand. So let's have a look at the question. Here's the question. Suppose the demand curve for a product is given by this expression Qx, which is the quantity demanded of X, is equal to 10 minus 5px plus py, where px is the price of the product and py is the price of the substitute good. You should note that the relationship between Qx and px is a negative relationship given by this negative sign here, and the relationship between qx and py is a positive sign, and that is relevant from an economics point of view. We know that as price falls, the quantity demanded increases, and vice versa. As price goes up, the quantity demanded actually falls. So and it also indicates that as the price of y goes up, the quantity demanded of x goes up, and there's a reason for that, which we will come to in a moment. So our question then is, if to know the price of x, if the price of x is £1 and the price of y is £2, calculate the price elasticity demand of px and the cross price elasticity of demand. So that's our question. Clearly we need to know px and py because without them it's impossible to calculate or make some calculations. So they're part of the story here that needs to be explored. So there's our equation, just a reminder, just to keep our eye on what we're going to do when we do our answer. And the first step, of course, is, because we've been asked to calculate first of all the price elasticity of demand for X, is to really, we need to understand something. We need to know the formula. Part of that formula is we need to know the quantity of X. And here we've done that because we know from our formula that the price of X is £1 and the price of Y is £2. So in our question, we know that. We can put that into our equation. Qx, quantity demand of X, equal 10 minus 5 times 1, the value of Px, and 1, although we haven't got a 1 in front of that, times the value of Py, which is 2. So it's obviously just 2. So we've got 10 minus 5 plus 2, well, that's equal to 7. So that allows us then to explore the price elasticity demand. And all we need to know is the formula. So this is quite straightforward. What we know is that the formula is px over qx. We need some base numbers and then multiply it by the slope when we're expressing the equation like this, as qx is a function of px, and in this case with py sort of held constant. So px over qx, well, px is £1. We know that qx is equal to 7, and this bit here, the change in qx over the change in px. Now I could have obviously used derivative signs. I've just used the delta triangle sign to explain the change in qx and the change in px, but that expression is just given by the slope coefficient in relation, in our particular equation. So the slope coefficient is what's giving us this number here, and that's just minus 5. So it's a seventh times minus 5, which is equal to minus 0.71. So what does that mean? Well, it means, we should know that it means that the price elasticity is inelastic, and one way of saying that might be to say that a 10% increase in the price of X leads to a 7.1% fall in the quantity demanded of X. There are other ways of saying it as well, but let's just leave it at that for the moment. What about the cross price elasticity, or the cross elasticity of demand as it's sometimes called? Well, here the formula is not px over qx, but py. So we've got some base numbers for here for PY and for QX. And so we've got PY is 2. We know that our QX is 7. So here, this is 2/7. And then we're looking at the slope of the relationship between QX, I should put it there, QX and PY. So looking at the slope. Well, the slope is +1. We don't put a number like here, we had 5 in front of it, but it's just the slope is +1 times whatever the PY is, which we know is, in this case, equal to the PY is equal to 2, but the slope is given as 1. So we've got 2, which is the PY. We've got QX, which is the value of QX we found, and the slope of the relationship between the change in QX over the change in PY. So that's 2/7 times 1, that's 0.29. And that means, effectively, that Y is a substitute. The positive number shows that in front of the PY variable here, it indicates that Y is a substitute for X. So a 1% increase in the price of Y leads to a 0.29% increase in the quantity demanded of X, because clearly when the price of Y goes up, if it's a substitute, people want less of that and they're going to switch into X, which is a substitute for Y, and they're going to buy more of it. And in this case, that gives us a quantitative number. So that's it, a very simple question, and hopefully that will get you on your way to exploring questions like this.